Welcome to episode 16 of Coffee with Coach Caffey. Today we're talking about sportsmanship, and we have Coach Washington, the new head football coach at Brentwood Christian, who was my defensive coordinator last year. And this past week he had the honor of receiving a trophy on our behalf from the Austin Football Football Officials Association. And so I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about this trophy.
Yes, sir. I was presented this trophy by an official that has reffed a few of our games over the last 5 or 6 years. He had nothing but great things to say about Coach Caffey and our program. The award is for exemplary conduct on and off the field. And if you've ever been around Coach Caffey, he places an emphasis on being a good role model to the community if you're a player on the team, and being the type of people that others want to root for. So if you've ever been to a Brentwood game, it is amazing the amount of support we have, and our kids are a class act. So it was an honor to receive this, and it was also an honor to drive down here today and present this to Coach Caffey. So,
well, thank you, Corey. When I was hired at Brentwood, there were some people that felt like that you couldn't teach Christian values with a violent sport like football. And so, growing up in West Texas, every Christian kid in town just about played football, and so I knew that wasn't true. And but we had to kind of the spotlight on us to make sure that from those people's perspective that we represented our church and our school in a positive way. And so it didn't matter for us. We were always going to coach the same way. And I think that we were the right kind of folks to start that program at Brentwood. There's a couple of things that we wanted to emphasize. One is respect for authority. And, that's so important in how you deal with your boss, with a police officer if he stops you, with anybody that's in a position of authority over you. If you show them respect, and then I think things go a lot better. And so the same way with officials, you treat the officials with respect and let them know that you respect them, then they will appreciate that. And so, so many times in this day and time, I hear, especially in basketball, I hear people say, well, you got to work the officials. I just do not agree with that. I think you got to, if you're yapping in their ear the whole game, then they will never hear anything you say when it comes down to something important. But if you don't say anything to them unless you know that you're right, then when you do say something, they'll listen to you. Yes, and so having respect for the authority is very important to us. Then there's some things that just happened at Brentwood that are really positive, and one of those things is the kids had been programmed when we got there. They run out there on the field. The first time I saw them do this, I thought, what in the world are those kids doing? Because I didn't prompt them. Yeah. They ran out there and chased down the refs, and we thought, where are they going? But they were going to shake the officials' hands and thank them for calling the game for us. And those kinds of things, in this day and age, they are special. And the Bible talks about being like a bright and shining light, and those kids at Brentwood have been that for us. Yes, they've influenced us.
Yeah, I remember just first practice, after we finished practice, the kids would come by, shake your hand, thank you coach. That's something that I've never experienced as a coach. So definitely made me proud to be there and be their coach. So
makes you feel appreciated.
Yes, sir.
Makes you love them even more. The Bible says in Matthew 7:12, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And I think respect goes a long way along that line. If you show others respect, then you'll get respect in return. And you know, it's sad to me when oftentimes people disrespect each other and then expect you to in return give them respect, and so that's just not going to happen. But you know, treating each other fairly, and you know, the refs are out there on the field when we're on the sideline, and so the language that you use and what you say to the opposing team, they hear all of that. And then, like Coach Washington says, that coach across the field, he's got an all-district vote for kids on our team. I don't, you know, and so you want to treat them in a way that lets them know that you're a good person and that you are playing football for the right reasons. You know, early in my career, I've kind of felt like maybe this was a weakness of mine. You know, most of the teams I coached were an underdog type team, and it was kind of us against them. And maybe I, you know, didn't. I'd get so fired up, and after the game, sometimes I would, you know, if I lost, especially, I maybe didn't show the kind of respect that I should have. And I know that as I matured and became you know, maybe a better Christian, I started doing a better job of that. In Luke 6:13, it talks about, you know, no, excuse me, in Mark 12:30, talks about a couple of commands. You know, the first command is to love your God, the Lord your God, with all your heart. And then the second command is to love your neighbor. And you know, who is your neighbor? And there's a lot of people as you look around. You know, your fellow teammates, your coaches, your kids, the kids you go to school with, your teachers, your administrators, and your opponents. And so love your neighbor, I think, is another important concept, that if you do unto others, you should have them do unto you, and then love your neighbor. That goes a long way. Simple advice that I think is good advice for living and getting along with all people. And that, you know, that's my goal. At this point in my life, I don't want to not get along with somebody, and I want to be an example of kindness and love to everybody also. So, Coach Washington, you got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would just say I've had the blessing to work with Coach Caffey and see how he handles situations, and that's definitely influenced me, because you know, sometimes we get in a game situation, I might be fired up and maybe not handle situations the way I should, but you know, just seeing the way he leads and following, you know, just relaxing. You know, a few years ago, you know, you're excited, you're in the moment, and you might yell at the kids or say some stuff that you shouldn't say. And I think just over the years I've grown being around him, and I'm so thankful for that experience. So the sportsmanship topic in this award is a big deal for me. So.
Well, we are proud of it. It's one of the most you know, best honors that we could have had, I think. And so when you know, I had an idea at the end of football season that we were going to be up for this award, and because of all of the pandemic, we weren't able to have the banquet and receive this there, so they just delivered it to us on campus.
And we're the second private school to win this award, and it's been presented since 1997. So I think Regents got it in 2010, and we got it this year. So that's great.
That's right. We're glad to represent TAPS in receiving this award. Well, thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed our program, and I know I've really enjoyed the day visiting with Coach Washington, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.
Later.